Hopefully autistic. Okay, so this is her life goal, right here. But there are ways you can find, and you need to do this in your own personal time as well. Find ways to fulfill your personal mission in your everyday life. Okay? I would also love to be a practicing psychologist in this country, but the rules are crazy here. I've yet to get there. Okay? So I also have to find ways of dealing and helping with people and do whatever. I don't really anti-psychology.
Okay, but I would like to jump ship.
You want to leave the PA?
I do not like administration anymore.
Which makes sense. And this is kind of like bringing it back to the chapters of that story, okay? She is at a job, and maybe her job is actually a hole because she doesn't actually like it at all. She's not enjoying it. So maybe she does have to take a complete side left turn to go to where she needs to be. Take a completely different road. Psychology and law are not very much the same at all. Okay? There are some aspects that they share, but then for her to be happy, she's going to have to take another road that doesn't have that pothole of going to the office every day and dealing with law. Yeah? So in your life as well, you need to find ways to connect everything that you do in a way that satisfies you. That's how you become successful and significant. Okay? Because you can be really good at something that you don't enjoy, but you'll never be living until you're doing something that you love. That's what I think. Okay? So I just wanted to like sort of bring out like a practical example of something. It's really cool that you're not actually doing what you love to do. And while that's okay, because you're making money and whatever, you eventually need to get to a place where you're satisfied in what you do. So thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else who is working part-time, has ever had a job? Yes. And you're living in your mission at the moment, aren't you? In that certain life.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
No, I'm saying, are you living, you feel like you're living your mission right now? Do you feel like you're doing what you're meant to do?
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah. And how does that feel? How is that going?
So fulfilling. Like I'm always looking forward to going to work.
That's good.
I thoroughly enjoy work.
That's very cool. And what values do you use on a daily basis when you're working?
One is love.
One is love? Okay.
Yeah, because I work with people. I'm a life coach. I work with teenagers especially. So they come up with different situations. I have to genuinely love them and I work with them beyond just the professional setting. I have to continuously communicate to them and try and help them. And then communication also, I value communication, talking to the teams regularly as well as to the parents.
So you need to be able to find little ways of connecting what you love to what you're actually doing. And I don't know, if you feel like you're stuck in a situation where you can't leave your job, try by all means to find a way to connect your values and what you love to your job. Even if it's just like putting a pot plant on your desk or like a picture of someone that you care about, find ways to stay connected to what you're actually after while you're in the situation that you're in. Okay, awesome. Is there anyone who would like to share their purpose as to why they exist? One. Okay, anyone else? No? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, press pause. Because everyone is reluctant to share with everyone, I'm going to put you back in those little groups, okay? And what I would like to do, this is now constructive sort of critiquing of what that person might have put down, okay? I would like you to look at everybody's purpose, okay? And sort of link it to their vision and mission. As someone on the outside, you can see something that they might not see, okay? So I'd like you to hear what they have to say and offer your best possible constructive advice as to how they can form their vision and their mission, okay, according to why they believe they're here on this earth, what they're currently doing, what they want to be doing. You guys have been having discussions all day. So I will walk around as usual and just hear what everyone is saying. But I want you to do it in your little groups. The four at the back, you guys are a group. And then again, as we were before, okay? Let's go, let's do this. Do you have any questions before I leave this one? What was the first step of living a life of significance? The first element that we talked about. Know your purpose. What's the second one? Sorry? Something about that.
The second point. We have a clear plan.
Have a clear plan. Okay, and within that plan, that's where we are, right? We're still planning. Takes a long time to plan and set your goals and stuff, but this is where we are. Can we have you turn to page 10, please? Okay. Keep one finger on page 10 and then just go back to page 7 again as well. Remember the two best ideas that you had? Okay, I'm going to use one of those as an example. So just think of one of the two that you have and then let's look at page 10. It says progress monitor. Remember we talked about how you have to have you need to know where you are, you need to know where you're going, you need to know what your plan is, and then when you're now taking action, you need to record. Yeah? Do you remember that part of you might have missed it all at the back because you went here, but then that's where we are. Okay, now we're recording what it is that we want to do. You need to look at the goals that you put together, those first two best ideas. I need you to look at the motivation behind choosing that goal. Yes, you ask yourself those three questions, but what is the motivation? Why pursue this goal? Why bother drinking more water in the morning or whatever it is that you want to do? Okay? What will spur you on? Okay? So there's two sections there. There are the rewards and the consequences. We talked about that when we were doing the 7-step planning that smart people do, yeah? Those 3% of successful people in this world, they have the rewards and the consequences all lined up, okay? If I don't do this, what are the consequences? There will never be world peace. Okay, that's one. Okay. Or you'll never have a happy family, or you'll never lose those 2 dress sizes that you wanted, or you'll never become a star basketball player if you don't put in the work that you want. Okay. So look at the motivation. What are the pros and the cons? The rewards for reaching a goal. I might get drafted to the NBA. Okay, that would be a reward, right? If you want to be a basketball player. If you want world peace, you never know, you might get a Nobel Peace Prize like that child who threw a shoe at someone and just changed their life and everything, yeah? There are people who stand up and they do get noticed for the actions that they take. But then they know the rewards, they know the benefits. I don't know if you know about the rugby player the first Aborigine rugby player to get recognized as an athlete at a national level. I think he got a prize for so bad at things like this. He said something very crucial in his speech. So he was awarded Best Athlete of the Year, let's say that's what it was, okay? But he's an Aborigine. And when he went to accept his prize, he was like, you guys are all racist. Yeah, I work in the system and I'm an athlete, but you guys don't treat us the same as the white people. And he had a choice in that moment as an athlete to decide, if I keep quiet, what are the consequences? My people will forever be trodden upon and they will never get recognized as equal to the other races that exist. There are black people who get treated better than Aborigines in Australia. Okay, so he had a choice. What are the rewards? The rewards were people were aware of the dissatisfaction that those athletes had. People were aware of the hurt that those athletes were going through. People were aware of the social discomfort that Aboriginal people go through. There are a lot of things that happen in his world, but if he hadn't said anything, he would have never changed anything in his life. Okay, so you also have to make those decisions. What are the rewards? What are the consequences? Can you deal with the consequences? He could have been fired. He could have been kicked off the team for what he said. Okay, but he was willing to take that risk because of what he wanted to achieve. Okay, so you guys need to push yourselves and ask yourselves the same questions as well. Now let's look at the obstacles. What's going to keep me from being able to say what I want to say, doing what I want to do, becoming who I want to be? I remember asking you guys which steps did we not take, and someone said that's the one that I don't look at. I don't look at the obstacles. I think everything's going to be perfect. Only in a perfect world, which we do not live in. Okay? So there will be obstacles. You need to look for those obstacles before they come your way. Okay? That way you're more prepared for what might come to you. Okay? So look at the obstacles. I also need you to look at your skills and your knowledge. I know that Flintstone thinks that it's beyond knowledge and we go to wisdom, which is fine. What wisdom do you think you need? Okay? What wisdom do you think you need to acquire? From whom? Is it yours? Is it someone else's? Okay? So in-house, your personal skills and your personal knowledge. Okay? What do you have? What do you need to develop? For Kudzai, who wants to be a psychologist, she better start studying psychology, or else, you're never going to get anywhere. You can't practice about it. Okay? So you need to know what skills you need. You need to know what you need to do. Okay? Or are you going to outsource? She wants to untwist psyches. Maybe she's just going to open the building that's going to allow people like me and the other psychologists in the room to do it. We don't know that, okay? So you need to decide whether you're going to outsource or you're going to be the solution yourself, okay? So So you need to think about that. For every goal that you set, for every habit that you want to change, you might have to look at these things. Association network. We talked about who your friends are, what they can do, what they can't do. Okay? I need you to seriously assess with those two best ideas that you want to start working on. Okay? What skills, what associations do you need to make? Key individuals. Is there anyone in this room that you can gain something from? How many of us have spoken to more than half the room today? Who made an effort to network within this room? That I can actually vouch for because she came to me and she's like, okay, I need to continue going around the room. One person. How do you know what the people in this room have if you don't speak to them? I said, get up for 5 minutes and talk to each other. What did you do? You stayed seated next to the same people you've been sitting next to the whole day. Are you not tired of the person next to you? Yeah? I'm encouraging you guys to make the most of the people that come your way, okay? This is when you get to meet people. And the funniest thing is, listening to a lot of the things that I heard today, your people's purposes are very much tied into each other. But you will never know that unless you have a conversation. You will never know what associations you can make unless you start talking to people. Okay, don't wait for Boost, don't wait for Unilever, don't wait for Ernst & Young. Start with the small associations, the groups will come later, okay? Maybe I know something about psychology that you don't know, but if we never have a conversation, you'll never know these things, okay? So I encourage you to talk to more people more often, and you'll see what comes out of that. Okay, so look at those 4 different things for each goal that you have, okay? And that is the way that you will start the whole process. That is all 7 steps of the planning, isn't it? Pretty much. And we're getting to the last one of 7 of recording. I want you to go to page 11. And just to make a note, what you have right now is the training manual. Okay? It is not the actual thing. It's useful, yes, but it won't take you through the year like you need to be taken through the year. So there's something called Jumpstart, and then there's a smaller version of Jumpstart, and there's an even smaller version of that as well, okay? Those have enough space for you to record what it is that you want to do with the goals and to actually measure them throughout the weeks, okay? We would encourage you to get one. You can speak to Hope about accessing them. I can leave my contact details as well if you want. Because what this has is a bigger version of everything that you've been doing thus far, okay? It has top 3 goals for health, all the imagination just for health, okay? So if you want to have a six-pack, you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to do all these things, you put all that down here without having to limit your space and your time, okay? Back to the actual thing that you guys have in front of you. Page 11. I'm going to go to the top goals. With your best ideas. Okay, so on page 11 you see something that says major tasks. As with all the other stages where we start with a long list and we narrow it down, we need to do the same thing when it comes to setting the goals for each activity, okay? What I need you to do is choose one. And a lot of you guys talked about this already. What are the things that you need to do if you want to get a job?
Update your CV.
Update your CV. Did you say save money?
Oh, that's after.
Okay, no, before. When you're still jobless and not sure what to do. Okay, you need to update your CV. What else do we need to do to be ready for the job market?
Research for companies you're interested in.
Right, okay, so we're going to research opportunities. I'm not in shorthand. What else do we need to do?
Network.
Network, nice. I was about to say, we've been talking about talking to people all this time. You'll never know what opportunities are out there unless you talk to someone. Yeah?
Acquire adequate skill there.
Okay. You might need to touch up on your interpersonal or accounting skills. What else do you need to do?
If you can volunteer for hands-on like job training
Right, okay.
to spruce up the chances of getting a job.
Mhm.
So all of you guys who are looking for employment, I think can go and volunteer for free for 6 months or a year before we can consider you for full-time employment. That's another avenue that works. My through internships and everything.
That's good. Okay, so maybe have a chat with Happy tonight and see what he's talking about. Okay? So, for every task, there is a section, okay, where you put the task. So let's say it's your short-term one that made it to best idea, right? So that's there. And you started on the, let's say you started at the beginning of next month, on the 1st of October, okay? So you're starting here and you're looking at what you've been doing, and if you've managed to succeed in whatever it is that you've been planning on doing, you start marking, like you start to put a line. So you see the pink line and the green line? It's very far away, you can come check it out later. This is your way of saying, okay, fine, first week of January I did very well. You mark it down and say I did that. Okay, I did my 7 days or whatever it is that I want to do. So it's update CV, these things are all on my plan for the first week of October. Check. Done. Okay? So the next thing after updating CV and doing all these things is maybe submitting your CV somewhere. That's for the second week. What else after submitting? Follow up and all these things. Did I do this? Check. You fill it in here and you make sure that you've actually achieved something.
I think networking is something that happens all the time. Wherever you are, you can network in commuter or minibus, you can network in a food outlet, anywhere you are.
Okay, cool. So it's a continuous thing. Until I get the job, I need to continue marking this. So every single week, when I'm putting down my tasks and my goals, networking will always be there. So will be my research options, yeah? My opportunities. Where can I get a job? Who's looking for hiring opportunities and stuff like that, okay? These two